Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to start a Microsoft Intune crash course for beginners. My name is Jasmine, and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid cybersecurity, ethical hacking, or cloud pro fast. To begin with the course, it is necessary to have a basic idea of what is Microsoft Intune and how it works. Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based mobile device management, MDM, and mobile application management that's part of Microsoft Endpoint Manager. It helps organizations manage and secure various devices like mobiles, desktops, laptops, and applications used by their employees. It enrolls devices, sets security policies, like strong passwords, distributes work apps, and enforces compliance rules. Imagine it like a central nervous system for your devices, ensuring they're secure, up-to-date, and have access to the right work resources while keeping company data protected. This centralized management helps IT admins simplify tasks and keeps employees productive on any device. Let's jump in and take a look at administering Microsoft Intune from the very basics. The first thing that you should know about Intune is that it is a paid software. If you don't require the full suite of Microsoft 365 features, you can purchase a standalone Intune license for device and application management. However, Microsoft 365 E5, Microsoft 365 E3, and Microsoft 365 Business Premium do have Intune by default. Further, to see which one suits you best, consult the Microsoft Licensing Advisor. This tool helps you compare different Microsoft 365 subscriptions and determine which one best meets your needs. Now, if you have a 365 subscription, you can check if you have Intune licensing by clicking on the respective user in the Admin Center. Click on the Licensing and Apps option, and you can see if the above-mentioned subscriptions are checked. Now, the next thing that you should have an understanding about is the machine states. Understanding machine states is crucial for getting familiar with Microsoft Intune because they determine the level of management and security you can apply to devices. So there are three types of machines. First is Azure AD registered. A device has been registered with Azure AD but isn't necessarily managed by Intune. Registration simply adds the device to Azure AD, allowing it to potentially be granted access to certain Azure AD resources, like Microsoft 365 applications, if configured with policies. The second machine state is Azure AD joined. A device is registered with Azure AD and additionally joined to a specific Azure AD domain. Joining an Azure AD domain provides a deeper level of integration with Azure AD, offering features like single sign-on, SSO, to access organizational resources. The third machine is Hybrid Azure AD joined. This state applies to devices joined to an on-premises Active Directory domain that has also been configured for Azure AD Hybrid Join. Hybrid Azure AD Join provides a bridge between on-premises Active Directory and Azure AD, allowing devices to authenticate with either service. Intune enrollment doesn't necessarily require Azure AD Join, although Azure AD Join can simplify enrollment. By understanding machine states, you can leverage Microsoft Intune's full capabilities to ensure a secure and well-managed mobile device environment within your organization. Now, to use Microsoft Intune, you need to connect your system with it using Entra ID Join, previously known as Azure AD Join. It is a method for registering devices directly with Microsoft Entra, a cloud-based identity and access management (IAM) service from Microsoft. It allows organizations to manage and secure devices, desktops, laptops, mobiles, without needing to join them to an on-premises Active Directory domain. For that, go to your Windows Settings application and then click on Accounts. In the Account settings, you will see an option of adding a school or work account. Click on it. Now click on Connect, and then add the user who has the license for Microsoft Intune. Once you enter the work account, this will only register the device in Intune, but you cannot manage it. At the bottom of the pop-up, you can see two options. One is to join this device to Microsoft Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory. This option allows you to join the device directly to Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, the cloud-based identity and access management service from Microsoft. The device becomes registered with Azure AD, enabling cloud-based management and access to cloud resources like Microsoft 365 applications. Users can potentially benefit from SSO, allowing them to sign in once with their Azure AD credentials to access various cloud applications and resources. Azure AD conditional access policies can be applied to enforce additional security requirements before granting access to organizational resources. These might include requiring multi-factor authentication, MFA, or ensuring the device meets compliance standards. The second option is to join this device to a local Active Directory domain. This is a kind of more traditional client-server model. This option is for joining the device to an on-premises Active Directory domain that your organization might have deployed. The device is primarily managed through your organization's on-premises Active Directory infrastructure. Security policies and configurations might be applied through Group Policy Objects, GPOs, defined within your Active Directory domain. Joining a local domain grants access to resources stored within your on-premises network, such as file servers or internal applications that rely on Active Directory authentication. Now log in to the Microsoft Intune. On the dashboard of Intune, there are several things that you should be familiar with. My Dashboard is a center area that displays the default dashboard, which can be customized with various tiles. Here, you can see total number of enrolled devices, device enrollment that provides a quick link to information and resources for enrolling devices in Intune. The next is device compliance, which shows the percentage of devices that are compliant with your organization's security policies, and device configuration that offers a quick link to device configuration policies. In the Intune admin, we can use the Devices and Apps option to manage them, and more importantly, by using the Endpoint Security Manager, we can manage the applications and devices' security. Further, we can produce reports using the Next Reports option. Moreover, we can also configure user and group settings. Also here we have a full tenant admin center. Now let's start with the Devices option. Once you click on the Devices option, you will come across this overview page, which will show the following options. First is the Manage Devices by platform. This allows administrators to organize and manage devices based on their operating systems, such as Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Android. Second is Configuration Policy Assignment Failures. This section allows administrators to view details and reports on policies that have not been successfully assigned to devices. The third option is Non-Compliant Devices. This section lists devices that do not comply with the organization's set policies and may require attention. The fourth option is the Deployment Status per Windows Update Ring. It allows IT administrators to monitor and manage the deployment of Windows updates across different groups of devices, known as update rings. Update rings are essentially groups with specific update policies that determine how and when devices receive Windows feature and quality updates. The fifth option is Additional Monitoring Reports. This provides access to more detailed reports for monitoring device usage and compliance. The Chrome OS Preview option indicates upcoming support for managing Chrome OS devices within Microsoft Intune, also in preview mode. This feature enables the setup of an enterprise connector, which is likely a tool for integrating Chrome OS devices into the Intune management system, allowing administrators to manage these devices alongside others. These options are part of Intune's capabilities to ensure devices are managed securely and efficiently within an organization. Now, within Microsoft Intune, there are two functionalities that you should be familiar with. One is MDM, Mobile Device Management, and the other is MAM, Mobile Application Management Configurations. Number 1, Device Enrollment. You can define enrollment methods, user enrollment, automated enrollment, and configure enrollment restrictions to control which devices can be enrolled. Number 2, Security Policies. MDM allows you to enforce security policies on enrolled devices. These policies might include requiring strong passwords and screen lock, enabling encryption of device storage, restricting access to certain websites or applications, configuring Wi-Fi and VPN profiles for secure network access, implementing selective wipe to remotely erase only work-related data from a lost or stolen device. Number 3 is device compliance. MDM lets you define compliance policies that devices need to meet before accessing organizational resources like email or internal applications. Non-compliant devices can be quarantined or blocked until they meet compliance requirements. Number 4 is device health. Intune can provide insights into device health, such as operating system version, security software status, and potential vulnerabilities. MAM, on the other hand, focuses on managing mobile applications used for work purposes on employee devices. Here's what you can achieve with MAM configuration in Intune. Number 1. App distribution and protection. Intune allows you to distribute and manage mobile applications for work purposes. This can include internal line of business apps, public app store apps, or custom-developed applications. Number 2. App protection policies. You can define app protection policies that control how apps access and store corporate data. These policies might include requiring app encryption for data at rest and in transit, restricting data sharing between corporate apps and personal apps, preventing access to corporate data from compromised devices or devices that fail to meet compliance requirements. Number 3. Containerization. Some configurations can leverage containerization technology. This creates a secure work environment within the personal device, isolating work data and applications from personal data and applications. Now, if I need to configure my 365, then the first thing that I need to do is go to the identity which can be found in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. If I click on the Devices section, you will see all the devices here. If you look at the join type, you will notice that each device have a different join type. Here you can see the device that we registered with Intune earlier in this video. Most of the devices will either have a hybrid Join AD and Azure AD in their join type. The device that has traditionally joined the Azure AD has very limited options for managing it. So this means that you manage a machine that is actually in Intune itself. The actual authority to manage this device lies in Active Directory or tools like Microsoft Group Policy. So things that you can do with it are like you can add it to administrator units, you can use the local password recovery feature, and in terms of management, you can only disable or delete it. Now, if I go to the properties of the machine that we added previously, you can see I can manage it and enable or disable it. However, you might need to have an Intune Suite license to have some more management options. On the other hand, if the device is joined using the Azure AD or Entra ID joined, it can be managed in the Entra Admin Center and user have access to full options. Let's see how we can add this feature. Just go back to the Entra Admin Center and scroll down to the Settings option in the left pane. Now click on Mobility. Here in Mobility, you will see a couple of options on the top bar. The first one allows you to add the applications. This allows you to add new applications to your mobility management setup. By clicking this, you can integrate additional apps that will be managed through Microsoft's Mobile Device Management, MDM, and Mobile Application Management, MAM solutions. Here I already have added the Intune application. However, you can add Intune by searching it in the search bar. Afterwards, click on Sign Up for Intune. The next option is Refresh. This refreshes the current view or data on the page. It's useful for updating the information displayed without having to reload the entire page or navigate away from it. The next option is the Manage View. This lets you customize the current view. You can choose which columns to display, filter the data shown, and sort the information according to your preferences. If you click on the Microsoft Intune application, you will see a bunch of options which include setting the scope for both MDM and MAM. The MDM user scope determines which users in your organization are managed by Mobile Device Management, MDM. The MDM Terms of Use URL is the web address where users can find the terms of use they must agree to for MDM. The MDM Discovery URL is used by devices to discover the MDM service's terms and conditions. Further, the MDM Compliance URL is a link that directs users to information about compliance policies and requirements for devices managed by MDM. Further, the Restore Default MDM URL reverts the changes to the original settings by resetting their values to default values. Same is the case for MAM scope settings. The discovery and compliance URLs are typically provided by your IT department and are essential for ensuring that devices and apps comply with your organization's security policies. The user scope settings allow you to control the extent of MDM and MAM enforcement across different user groups within your organization. The Restore Default URLs option is a fail-safe to quickly revert any URL changes back to the organization's standard settings. These options are part of the Mobility, MDM and MAM Preview section, which is focused on managing mobile devices and applications within your organization. The presence of Microsoft Intune in the table below these buttons indicates that Intune is being used as the MDM and MAM solution in this context. Since I am using the trial version, so that's why you are unable to see such settings here. Now here are some important settings for the devices in the Entra Admin Center. Here are the options in the device settings. The first option is users may join devices to Azure AD, and there are further 3 options for it. If you select all, any user can join a device to Azure AD. However, right now, the selected option allows only users who are part of a selected group can join devices. The next option is Require Multi-Factor Authentication to register or join devices with Azure AD or Entra ID. Here you can make it mandatory for users to complete multi-factor authentication to register or join devices. The warning message suggests that for better security, it's recommended to require multi-factor authentication, MFA, when registering or joining devices using conditional access policies. This means that even if you set this option to No, you can still enforce MFA through conditional access policies in Azure AD. These settings are crucial for managing device access and ensuring that only authorized users can add devices to your organization's network, with MFA adding an additional layer of security. If you're setting up these options, consider your organization's security requirements and policies. Further, the next option is Enable Azure AD or Entra ID Local Administrator Password Solution, LAPS. If you enable the LAPS feature, which allows Entra ID to manage the local administrator passwords on Entra ID joined devices, ensuring that they are strong and rotated regularly, otherwise the local administrator passwords will not be managed by Entra ID. There is another option named Restrict Users from recovering the BitLocker keys for their owned devices. This setting will prevent users from being able to recover BitLocker recovery keys for devices they own, which can enhance security by ensuring that only authorized personnel can recover these keys. If you keep it off, then this will allow users to recover BitLocker keys for their own devices, which can be useful for self-service scenarios, but may present a security risk if not properly controlled. The Save and Discard buttons at the top right allow you to apply or discard the changes made to these settings, respectively. The Got Feedback button is likely a way to provide feedback on the settings or interface. It's important to consider the security implications of these settings within your organization. Enabling LAPS can help secure local administrator accounts, and restricting BitLocker key recovery can prevent unauthorized access to encrypted devices. In Microsoft Intune, you need to enroll your devices first. Device enrollment ensures that devices are managed, secure, and compliant, allowing users to access organizational resources while maintaining data protection. It's a fundamental step in effective device management within an organization. Now, if I click on Enroll Devices, you will get a number of different enrollment options based on the platforms. The first one is Windows Enrollment, which contains the following options. Option 1. Automatic Enrollment. This setting configures Windows devices to automatically enroll into Intune when they join or register with Azure Active Directory, Azure AD. It simplifies the process of bringing devices under management without requiring additional user actions. Option 2. CNAME Validation. This is a diagnostic tool to test if your company domain's CNAME records are correctly set up for Windows enrollment. Proper CNAME configuration is essential for devices to find the correct enrollment server. Option 3. Co-management settings. These settings allow you to configure integration with Configuration Manager. Co-management enables you to simultaneously manage Windows 10 devices with both Configuration Manager and Intune. Option 4. Device Platform Restriction. This setting allows administrators to specify which device platforms, like iOS, Android, Windows, are allowed to enroll in Intune. It helps in managing security by ensuring only approved device types can access corporate resources. Option 5. Device Limit Restriction. This option lets administrators set a limit on the number of devices that a single user can enroll. This can help control the number of devices that have access to company data and ensure that users don't enroll more devices than necessary. Option 6. Enrollment Notifications. When enabled, this sends email or push notifications to users after their devices are successfully enrolled. It's a way to confirm that the device is now being managed and may receive policies and applications from Intune. Option 7. Windows Hello for Business. This replaces traditional passwords with strong two-factor authentication on Windows devices. It uses a PIN or biometric identifier to secure access to devices, apps, and services. The Windows Autopilot deployment program within Microsoft Intune is a collection of technologies used to set up and pre-configure new devices, getting them ready for productive use without the need for IT to physically handle each device. Under Autopilot program, there are several options that you should know. Option 1. Devices. This section is for managing Windows Autopilot devices. Here, you can see a list of devices that have been imported into Autopilot and monitor their enrollment status. Option 2. Deployment Profiles. This allows you to customize the Windows Autopilot provisioning experience. You can set up different profiles to control how devices are set up during the Autopilot process, including settings for language, region, and whether users see the privacy settings or not. Option 3. Enrollment Status Page. This displays the status of app and profile installation to users during the device setup process. It ensures that users know what's happening during enrollment and can verify that all necessary configurations are applied before they start using the device. Option 4. Intune Connector for Active Directory. This is used to configure hybrid Azure AD joined devices. It allows devices that are managed by Intune to also be joined to your on-premises Active Directory. Now, if you want to enroll an Apple device in your organization, click on Apple Enrollment, and here get the push certificate from Apple, and then follow the instructions after clicking on Apple MDM Push Certificate. Once your devices are enrolled, you can then start configuring the policies like compliance, configuration, or you can run some scripts. For the mobile devices, you have to create configuration profiles by going to Configuration Files. Next, you can also deploy apps for Apple by using the iOS iPadOS Apps section. Just click on Add option, then select the app type. Next, give the basic information of the app and then follow the upcoming step. The compliance policies are also important as they contribute to a secure system. To create a compliance policy, go to Compliance option under the Manage Devices, and from there click on Create Policy option under the Policy tab. Once you click on Create Policy, a pop-up will open on the right, and from there first select the platform. Afterward, click on Create. Next, it will ask about the basic information, which includes name and description of the policy. After entering it, click on Next. Now, it will ask about compliance settings, which include email, device health, device properties, defender of endpoint, and system security. In the device health, you will see options like allowing jailbreak devices. In system security, you can set password settings and lock screen settings. You can also restrict apps, which is really nice. The next tab is about actions to take in case of non-compliance of the policy. Here you will see that there are different actions that you can set in terms of instances. Now you can assign this policy to a group by searching it in the search bar. Lastly, you can confirm the changes once you have reviewed them. Next, in case of applications, click on Apps. Here you can see that there are the same platforms available as in the case of devices. To deploy any app, go to All Apps option. From there, click on Add option. Next, select the app type. Here I have selected the Microsoft App Store. Next, enter the app name in the search bar after clicking on Search on Microsoft Store app. Here I have searched Teams. Now select the appropriate app and then click on Create. The first tab is about the app information, which include its name, description, publisher, package identifier, installer type, install behavior, category, information URL, privacy URL, and more. Once you are done with adding the app information, click on Next. Now you can assign this app to uses, groups, and devices in the Assignment tab. Next, review the changes and confirm its creation. To create a protection policy, simply click on Create and follow all the steps one by one. Further, you can also edit the properties once you have created a protection policy. For illustration, I have created a protection policy here. Now to make edits in it, simply click on it and then go to the Properties tab. Here, I have added only one app. If you want to add more apps, then simply click on Edit option right next to Apps. Here, you can click on Select Apps and from there search for the desired app. Further, you can also edit the data protection settings as well by clicking on Edit option right next to Data Protection Details. The other thing you need to know is how to manage Windows updates. For that, you can create update rings. Update rings in Intune are policies that define how and when Windows 10-11 devices receive feature and quality updates. They are part of the Windows Update for Business strategy that allows IT administrators to manage the deployment of updates across devices within an organization. Now, for instance, to create an update ring for Windows 10 users. For that, simply click on Windows 10 and later Updates in Devices menu. Next, click on Create Profile option. Next, follow the steps one by one to create an update ring. Here, I have made one update ring for illustration. Let's see which properties I can edit here in Update Ring Settings. If I click on it, now you can see there are multiple settings that you can play with. Now let's begin with the Update settings. The first option here is Microsoft Product Updates. If you allow it, then updates for Microsoft products other than Windows, such as Office, will be downloaded and installed. The next is the Windows Drivers option. If you allow it, driver updates provided through Windows Update will be installed. The next option is quite important, which is the Quality Update Deferral Period, days. This setting allows you to specify the number of days to wait before quality updates, like security updates, are installed. For example, setting it to 14 means that the updates will be deferred for 2 weeks. Similarly, there is a feature update deferral period, days. Similar to quality updates, this lets you defer feature updates, which add new functionality for a set number of days. A 7-day deferral means the updates will be installed 1 week after they're released. Then there is the Upgrade Windows 10 devices to latest Windows 11 release option, which you can turn on to make Windows 10 devices eligible to be upgraded to the latest version of Windows 11. The next option we see is the Set Feature Update Uninstall Period, 2 to 60 days. This option allows you to set a period during which users can uninstall feature updates. The period can be set between 2 and 60 days. The last one here that I am going to talk about is Enable Pre-Release Builds option. If you enable it, devices will receive pre-release builds, typically for testing new features before they are released to the general public. Here, I have selected the pre-release channel as Windows Insider. This drop-down lets you select which pre-release channel to use, such as the Windows Insider Release Preview channel, which provides early access to updates before they are broadly released. Next, there are some other settings as well which are related to user. Now, once you are done with the changes, click on Review and Save option to apply the settings. On the left, the next important option is the Endpoint Security, where you can control various security features. Most of them are related to Windows devices. This section is where you manage security policies and configurations for devices in your organization. It includes setting up security baselines, tasks, and managing features like antivirus, firewall, and disk encryption. That's it for today's video. I have explained all the major concepts of Microsoft Intune. Let me know in the comments about this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career.